Today we are going to talk about the self-care practices in yoga, what yoga says about how to cleanse and how to look after the body. So these are called Shat Karma Kriyas in Sanskrit, and there are 6 different ways in which we can cleanse. And it starts at the beginning with the head, with the even the mind, and all of this area, and the lungs and the throat, and then we move down into the stomach and into the bowels. So I'm just very quickly going to tell you what they are, the 6 different techniques for cleansing, and we're going to look at 3 of them today in a little bit more detail. So the first one is called Jala Neti. And Jala is water. Neti is this little pot. Yes? So we have our neti pot. And this is a tiny little, beautiful, like a little teapot that goes into the nostril. And we tilt our head. And this is full of warm, salty water. And when we tip our head and we lean forward, and then the water goes up one nostril and out of the other, which sounds like what if you haven't done it before? But when you have, it's actually very, very easy. Sometimes it doesn't come out at the beginning, and that looks like then there's some blockages in the nose. But if you just breathe through the nose, so you fill your little neti pot with warm salty water, just 1 teaspoon to 1.5 liters, like a flat teaspoon. And then you taste it, so it's just a little bit salty. If there's too much salt, it will sting. If there's not enough salt, it will sting as well. So you get that balance right, and make sure it's warm and not hot, otherwise it really hurts. And into the nostril, lean over, and then tilt the head and just wait. And you can breathe through the mouth. And I'm just waiting until the water comes out of the other nostril. And then when you've done half of that, then just lean forward and gently, not too strong because it will blow back, but just let the water come out. And then you can go to the other nostril and wait. And the same thing. And then you can just tip over and hang upside down. I normally do about 2 of these in the morning before I've eaten. It's part of my morning practice. And just make sure all the water's come out. So tipping over, just gently blowing through the nose is a way to ensure that all the water is out. And what that does, the warm salty water actually draws mucus. So it's when you've got a lot of mucus, it's really good for when you're feeling like a flu or a cold is coming. It's also really good if you're having headaches. It's good for your sinuses, it clears all the sinuses. And it's really good for memory. So it goes from the physical to the deeper levels. So that's Jala Neti. And the other practice is Trattica. So Trattica is very good also for this area. It's for cleansing the mental body. So Trattica is when we're looking at an object with a single point of focus. So you can actually look at a dot on the wall. You can sit in front of your wall and put a dot. It sounds a bit strange, but it's very, very powerful. And you must be 1.5 arms away from the dot. And you just sit with the eyes a little bit closed, but still open and very, very still. So we're trying not to blink, and we're just looking at the dot on the wall. Or an even more powerful technique of Trattica is to use a candle, and to light the candle and to put it 1.5 arms away, and to look at the flame. So I would put this on a table at the same height as my eyes. And then I would be looking at that flame. And hopefully the flame is still. Yeah, you don't want it flickering around in a windy room, but that still flame, without blinking, just looking at the flame until the eyes start to water. And sometimes it doesn't take long, like it takes a couple of minutes, and then the eyes start to water, and you close the eyes, and you can see in the mind like this little light of the flame. And when that disappears, then that practice is finished. So it's very simple, it's very quick. And what this does is it purifies the mind. And what you will find is that when you go to bed, I love to do this before bed. When you go to bed, you can have dreams. So the subconscious is purifying. And the dreams that come are very, very interesting. Yeah, very cleansing to the mind. Also improves your concentration, your ability to focus. So it's amazing in today's world with social media, Facebook, YouTube, all of these like flickering around from one to the other. And our fast-paced world, this helps us to really become very still and clear in our mind. Yes. The next practice also activates the mind. It's called Kapalabhati. And Kapala means skull, and Abhati is cleansing. So this practice is also affecting the lungs. So it's very good if we're feeling fluey or if we have a cold. And it also gets right into the core. So you need core strength to really do Kapalabhati. So this is like the part of us that is strong and powerful. Manipura chakra, the core warrior place within us. If you don't have that fiery energy, then Kapalabhati will be very weak. So you can really activate your fiery, determined, motivated, inner strength, all of those qualities of the fire. You can activate this through Kapalabhati, which I'll show you now. And it also clears the mind like Trattica. So with Kapalabhati, we make sure that we're empty. So we're not full, we haven't had a big meal. And what we do is, it's like we're blowing out of the nose. So this practice is amazing to do every day, because when we come to Kapalabhati, the nose is clear. And we can go yeah. It's like that. At the beginning, you have to do it more slow because it's a little tricky. But basically, it's like you're blowing into a tissue. You're blowing your nose. And you don't even have to think about inhaling. The breath comes in naturally. You just have to think about like moving the lower abdomen and the pelvic floor. This is very activating for the pelvic floor and the lower abdomen. So put your hand below the navel and just blow out of the nose, and you'll feel the lower abdomen naturally coming in to blow out the breath. Yeah? So it's not complicated. It's just and then relax. And then relax. And then relax. So when you relax, the abdomen comes back into a neutral position, and the breath has come back in, and then you're ready to blow the air out again. Yeah? So Kapalabhati is also amazing for clearing the mind, for activating the digestive fire, Manipura chakra, for also activating Muladhara chakra and the perineum and the pelvic floor. So it's a very stimulating, activating practice that can really lift us up. It's not one to do before bed, so this is good in the morning after Jala Neti. Yeah? And if you want to find out more about these practices, then you can tune in to a longer instruction where we can go through it stage by stage. But this is just a talk on how the self-care practices are essential within yoga. And they're essential so that we can feel the body feels loved, we feel cared for on that level, but also so everything is open. And the channels, like the sinuses and the mind and the heart and the abdomen and the perineum are all working, they're all alive. So we can feel more vibrant and we can feel more able to practice the deeper techniques in our yoga routine. Yeah. So that's the first 3 Kriyas from the Shat Karma Kriya series. And I hope you gain some benefit. I hope you can incorporate them into your daily life. Again, just to recap, Jala Neti in the morning, the first thing that you do when you wake up, go to the bathroom, Jala Neti. And also the Kapalabhati is good to do after. And then I would do Trattica on a flame before you go to bed in the evening. Yeah, so enjoy those practices and I hope they benefit you. Thank you very much.